We got buttons.
That was the sound guy. Thanks for your help.
Welcome back to a podcast about nothing with V
and AD. What's up, y'all? Oh, that was my glitter effect for you guys. Thanks for joining me.
Serious.
This is serious though, no, because for real, I've been seeing this a lot on the internet, and I'm telling you, the time has come. It's upon us.
Some bullshit.
Everybody got to go to the hood one day.
Yeah. This is the most gangsta hood I've ever been to. I'm about to make a U-turn.
Who you? I ain't even get there yet.
And it's like one way in, no way out.
Talk about a trap. That's where Bigfoot live at.
They trapping us. What hood we talking about?
Adulthood.
Boo. There's no boo sound effect.
Right. I don't know what gang this is, but I'm over it. I'm out. I guess the only way to get out is to die, huh?
Right. Damn, that's real.
For real.
They gonna beat your ass.
Right. It's gonna mess you up. Dang. Now that I think about it, it is pretty terrible. Yeah. Adulthood, y'all. This is grown-ish.
Grown-ish. Let's talk about it.
You ain't grown.
Let's get into it.
Wow, I just got really hot.
Drinking that brown liquor.
I'm grown.
Only grown folks drink that brown.
Right. They lied to us. But anyways, so yeah, we're here to discuss this wonderful hood of adulting and how expensive tissue is.
That's a lot to wipe your ass, huh?
Right. And you know, I saw somebody tweet the other day. You know what I just thought about? Why are we paying for trash bags to throw the same bags in the trash? That pissed me off. That pissed me off. Because it's like you literally just throwing your money away.
Everything is bamboozlement.
It is. Like you're just buying trash bags and probably got a scent to them. They force flex just to throw them in the trash.
And now the trash trucks, like the guys don't get out and put the trash in the whatever.
That's why it has to sit a certain way on the curb.
Yep, it has to sit a certain way because they actually use the machine to pick it up and dump it. So you really don't need trash bags.
You really don't. But that's actually kind of disgusting because then you have maggots.
That's true. I had maggots. I mean,
where do maggots come from? I always thought they were little rice grains.
Oh my gosh! Please.
I always thought that's what it was, just spoiled rice.
No, it's eggs from flies.
Fly eggs?
I don't know. Look at it.
It's disgusting. I'm not dealing with it. That's why I'm not buying a house. So I don't have to deal with that. I'm not buying. Trash shoot me for life.
Adulting.
Right. Adulting. Right. But no, this is a serious conversation because I feel like we're all struggling right now.
I'm struggling in real life.
And y'all know she's my elder, so she's going through it. She's going through it.
And we about to get back into this baby boomer thing.
I mean, hey, that's what they say.
Nobody says. Nobody has said.
Don't shoot me. Shoot the messenger. I mean, don't shoot the messenger.
Nobody said I was a baby boomer.
That's what the internet said.
No, it didn't.
How old did the internet say the baby boomers were?
The baby boomers now are in their 70s.
Damn.
Because the baby boom came in 45 after the war.
Oh, well, boom like an 808 then.
All the babies.
Right, baby boom away then. Okay, well, still, she's struggling.
I am.
But it's okay. I feel like we all go through it. Well, you're helping me learn that we all go through it. I'm telling y'all, no problems are new. Like, nobody's going through anything new.
None.
You think you got something that popped up. Nah, somebody went through this 300 years ago.
Why so long ago?
Because that's
and they're going through it now.
And they're going through it now. Like, for real. There's always somebody with your situation. Always somebody that thinks the same thing that you are. It's just a matter of how you know it or them speaking about it, whatever the case may be. But seriously.
Yeah, so I'm struggling with what it means to be not necessarily an adult, or grown. Like, you can claim that you're grown when you pay bills or have kids and take responsibility. But I think mine goes a little bit deeper. I'm trying to figure out how to be not a good adult or a great adult. I'm trying to figure out how to be better.
Okay. But does better come from not being good? Or does better come from...
So that's the struggle. I have to define what better is to me.
Okay.
Right? So I want to be a better wife and a better mom and a better daughter and a better family member, but I don't know what that actually means.
So one question. Do you feel like an adult?
Yeah.
What makes you feel like that? Because like you've heard me say it plenty of times. The older I get, the more childish I feel.
Childish as hell.
Childish is a mud.
Playing childish
I don't have any
games.
problem with it because I feel like for so long I felt so mature. But now that I'm older, I'm like, what the hell did that mean? Like, because I was calmer than a lot of people, because I was able to keep my mouth shut in situations, because I didn't form opinions or, react like my age group was acting. Was that my maturity level? And I think that's what it was for me. But I didn't necessarily feel older. It was just I didn't act like the people around me. So I don't know what being an adult is supposed to feel like.
Yeah, because you always been too grown.
That's what I'm saying.
Britches.
Like, I'm grown now. I don't want to be an adult. I like being childish. It's fun. Baby, welcome to Baby Pop's party.
Baby shark. Yes, I feel like an adult, but I don't know it's a really good question.
Let me ask you, why do you feel like an adult? Because adult, isn't it scientific? Scientifical? That sounds like a word.
It does.
We should use it.
We should.
Scientifical.
Yes, it actually is very scientifical.
Isn't it? Doesn't it have to just do with development of your body?
Yep, and
so how you gonna tell me I ain't grown?
Baby.
Because
it didn't say anything about being grown. It said about being an adult.
That's it. Is adulting and grown up not the same thing?
Nah.
Oh, what makes you grown?
Grown, taking care of those. I think what makes you grown, because like you said, and the definition of being an adult is definitely scientifical.
Scientifical.
New word.
We
gotta look it up and make sure it's a new word.
We might just be using it wrong.
Right. It's basically a biological thing. It's,
It's just
it's the opposite of being a child.
Yeah, like
development, all that stuff.
Like a calf and a cow.
Yeah, basically.
You're an adult cow.
A chick and a chicken.
Chicken nuggets, chicken sandwich.
Spicy.
Right.
Plain as hell.
Right. Popeyes, Chick-fil-A. So
right. But I want to say that being an adult and being grown are two different things.
And how?
All right, so being grown means a few different things. Being grown, yes, the regular things, paying bills, taking care of children, living on your own, going out and experiencing the world without having to answer to anyone. That's one part of it. The other part of it is completion. I think, completing what you start, taking responsibility for things that are great and things that have gone wrong. That you...
I ain't grown.
That's
I just thought about it.
Childish. I think responsibility is a really big one.
As far as what separates you from child or grown and adult, or child and adult?
Child, adult, grown, adult, responsibility is a really big one. It's not just an act. Because anybody can act grown. Anybody can act like an adult.
And I think that's what I was doing, acting grown. But when you say responsibility, because my responsibility comes in the form of bills and the things that I've picked up on, things that I want to maintain for myself. but I don't feel like an adult. Maybe I may be adulting, but just don't feel like it is. But when you say responsibility,
I think it goes deeper than just paying bills and taking care of other people. I think responsibility to yourself first. So the responsibility of making sure that you are well, knowing what you want, and more importantly, knowing what you don't want, and being able to say that. And I think that's what I'm struggling with now. Like right now in this moment, I'm struggling. Is there a cry? That's not a cry. Oh, that's not a cry. No. Oh, they laughing at me. That's not a cry. But yes, right now at this moment, I'm definitely struggling with what it's not what I want. I think it's more so of what I don't want. And some of what I want, like knowing your purpose, knowing who you are.
What do you don't want when you say what you don't want? So is it like what you don't want to come off as, or what you don't want in your life and just in general?
All the way around.
Oh.
What do you mean by come off as?
Because you know how some people say, well, like, I want to be this type of person, but I don't want it to come off as this. Or I want to be this, do this, and I just don't want it to come off like I'm trying to do that.
I think that's a part of being an adult and being grown. Because when you can accept who you are and not care what it comes off as, like that is being grown. You have to be okay with you.
That's probably where I was grown when I was 12, because I didn't care how it came off.
You don't care now, Negro. You don't care now.
I do care. I consider it more now.
You can always, I also think, yes, being considerate, but knowing and being comfortable in your own skin to know that either you're going to accept who I am or you're not.
Yeah, my skin is pretty smooth, so I accept it.
Oh.
But that makes a lot of sense.
That's not necessarily being an adult, but being a mature adult, which is different than just being an adult. Being grown,
So wow, you opened my eyes to something new, because I realized she's always pointed out that I have commitment issues. So yeah.
You didn't say issues. What was the other phrase you used? You
complications.
Said, it wasn't complicated. It's commitment.
I think it was commitment commitment complications. Reservation. Something. I'm just not doing it.
You do.
It's not even so much. It's just like scary stuff, like contracts.
But the right contract is good. It protects you and it protects the other person.
Yeah, but I think that's where my commitment comes to. It's like contracts. I like to get out of stuff when I'm ready to go.
There's always an exit clause. You just have to know what it is. That's a part of being grown, is knowing what the exit is.
Leaving, dropping everything and go. Stop, drop, and go. Don't pass, go.
No,
don't
the adult part is knowing what I have to do, my exit strategy. What is my exit strategy out of any situation?
First of all, back in when you parking.
Put that bitch in drive and go.
Right. Make sure you can get out of anywhere that you go and it's not safe. This adulthood place is very ratchet. You have to go.
You have to go. Yeah.
Like,
no, but seriously, yeah. Struggle. Dang. I've been bamboozled, y'all. I'm not grown. I think the responsibility thing is big. The responsibility is taking responsibility when it's good and when it's not so good. Being able to
dealing with it.
And dealing with it, like, head on.
Yeah. That's
a big part of it.
I don't know.
And silence.
And now I'm over here thinking, because I thought, okay, that's going to be a conversation for another day.
What?
Adrian's growing up. Well, I should have a show.
You should. Adrian's growing up.
Yeah. Grown-ish.
Already a show.
Childish-ish grown.
You childish as hell.
Yeah. Childish as hell. That's going to be the show. But no, seriously, I think my thing is more so like everything feels so pretend around me. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, everything is so like, are y'all seriously stressing about this? Like, you guys are ridiculous. Like, is this what grown people do? Like,
make up shit to
stress about all the time. Like, are we really about to be stressed about this? Like, my thing right now is struggling with relationship status. I don't know what the hell it means to be in a relationship with somebody when you're grown. And I find a lot in my own situation that I'm just going through the motions of what you've defined or what you thought one was, what somebody else thought it was, and, you know, what the next person think it is, even what your partner considers it to be, and what you guys participate in on a daily basis or not on a daily basis. Like, it's all like, this feels like a joke.
I think...
But that, to me, that also goes along the lines with most of the relationships and things around me that I'm trying to figure out.
Like other people's relationships, you said?
No, not necessarily other people's relationships, just my relationships with people in general. Like, me redefining, like, friends. Like, are we literally just people who talk on the phone because we've known each other for so long? Like, what are we doing for each other? What are we really getting out of each other? What are we really doing? Like, is it all a hoax? Am I really supposed to keep up with you, or am I just doing it because I don't know. Maybe I've been thinking about it too hard. Like, you know, my thing was family, like being an adult, and it's like, oh no, you need to keep up with your family members. And it's like, of course I want to keep up with my family members, but is it really an adult thing to do, to participate in a bunch of conversations or relationships with people that, well, not relationships, or conversations and engaging with people you don't have relationships with? Does that make me an irresponsible adult just because I'm doing it? Or just because, like I don't get it. And it almost feels as though the people who are viewed as adults or on the same playing field as me, from my perception, it's because they can keep up with the facade of what they feel like things are, and not necessarily dealing with certain things.
What it actually is.
Yeah. So a lot of things is like, ooh, word no applause.
I don't think you're supposed to clap with the day clapping for us.
Oh,
that's a live audience,
Simmer
y'all.
Simmer down. Oh my God, y'all so loud. But no, like I feel like that's where my mind is reverting back to, well, not my mind is reverting back, but I feel more childish now. Because it's like, I always tell people I have two very extreme sides to me. One side that cares too much, and another side that doesn't care at all. So on one side, I can think about stuff and perceive things for what they are, and really look at stuff like, dang, I wouldn't want this person, or want to be perceived like this, or I would want this to go this way. And then on the other hand, I'm like, none of this shit matters. So those are the two things that I deal with all the time. Like, as much as I want to care about what this person thinks, or what I'm doing, or acting like a good girlfriend, or acting like a good friend, on the other hand, I'm like, none of this shit matters. We all gonna die. Like that's really how I think. Like, there's really no in between.
Okay. Well, that's, and thank you for listening to the podcast. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah,
I don't know what it means. Like, let me ask you, when you and you first got into your relationship, after y'all rekindled, for whatever, what made it feel like it was different from your other relationships as an adult? Like, going into it this time, like, ooh, he might be my husband.
Ooh, he's the one.
Right.
It's crazy because I know everybody has heard us say this a million times, but it's true. The honesty. The fact that we were able, before we locked this thing in, we were able to be so open and honest with us. With each other.
What were you guys honest about that? Because I feel like...
So... This is what he asked me.
Okay.
This is what he asked me. What's your deepest, darkest secret?
Oh, what's the T, sis?
Y'all can.
Don't be asking me that.
That's why it's a secret. And I told him. Mm-hmm. And I asked him the same. And he told me. And if the two of us can get over those two things, then we were good. It was no reason for us to ever lie or be deceitful or excuse me, or any of those things. Like, if I could tell somebody my deepest, darkest secret and he still stays around, like...
You must be deep and dark.
I have 12 cats in my backyard.
Don't let her lie, act like it's a lie, because it's true.
Buried.
She feeds them. You want to know where your cat ran away to? Her backyard.
They're all buried. And if he could tell me his deepest, darkest secret and I stick around, then,
so you pretty much believed everything from that point on. Like, we ain't got no reason to lie to each other.
Ain't got no reason to lie to each other.
Oh, so y'all started at the
nitty. It was no, like, we couldn't go down from there. We already started at rock bottom. All we can do is go up.
Yeah, that is true. Because I feel like when you do meet people, even though y'all were rekindling, so it's like y'all meeting each other again. But
we were never friends.
Oh.
Like, we didn't talk. Like, we knew nothing about each other. We knew each other because, obviously, Yudu and Davina, the names just, they're not common names. So we're going to know who we are, But...
You guys weren't, like, hanging out.
Nah.
Y'all didn't have... It wasn't a rekindle thing. It was like, oh, hey, I remember
I didn't know him at all. I knew nothing about his track days. I knew nothing about, him being whoever the hell he was then. I didn't know any of that. Plus, in my 11th grade year, I went to a different school.
Oh, yeah.
So when his track career and homecoming king and prom king and all that stuff took off, I didn't know any of that.
Oh.
So I knew nothing about Yudu Gray.
Dang, his government.
I mean, they know who he is. He got articles.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm in the process of like redefining what it means, but it almost makes sense to me why people.
What, a relationship?
Like, yeah. Like understanding what it means, because all that boyfriend girlfriend stuff is so overrated. Like, it really is. Now it's starting to be to me like
overrated.
From what people expect in a relationship from males and females, just being their boyfriend or their girlfriend, and how people operate in their relationships, calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, it's all honestly, you feel like you're caught up in the fucking Matrix.
Yeah, but I also think what we did early on was say what we were willing to accept and what we weren't. What we expected from a relationship.
So were you going into it expecting a relationship or a husband?
Oh, I knew I was going to marry him.
Because she's a stalker.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to get my mans. But no, like, I think that's the difference now. Because even the man who was going to do my tires the other day, he went into a spiel before he told me he had my tires, telling me how he's looking for a wife. He was married before, but he was too young. He was married for 20 years. He was too young. He was separated for 10, but he needs to find a wife. He was like, I don't do girlfriends. Like, he honestly said it. He was like, I like to have intercourse. It's against God to just be out here doing what I like to do. So I need a wife.
I disagree.
What?
To
have sex?
Yes.
I don't think it's against God. I think it's against God under the pretenses of not having a husband. I don't think it's the sex thing. That's always a misconsumption. Because, what is it? Isn't that a consumption?
You don't know words.
No, it's not a consumption. It's
what you consuming?
Conscrusion.
New words.
Conscrusion. But no, like, he was basically saying, and it's weird because it's extra. The conversation was. It makes sense to me. Like, why are we about to sit up here and are you gonna call me back? You gonna call me? Are we gonna talk on the phone all day?
But I think that part is important. We also had that. I knew I was gonna marry him. He didn't know if he was gonna marry me.
I mean, yeah, that's the fun part. But it's like, if you don't go into a relationship with any type of intention, what are you doing? You know? Because it's stressful. Because it's like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to hold on to somebody just to say you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? If you're not looking for a husband or a wife, or what is the point after this? Or like, what are we building up all these laws for? What are we shacking up to do? Like, are we trying to live together forever?
Yeah.
We trying to...
Yeah.
But I guess that's, also, too, like, the honesty thing.
What does it mean
like,
to be an adult in a relationship?
Really? Like, what are y'all doing?
Being honest. I think that's what made us an adult in the relationship.
Being honest.
That we were able to be so open. Honesty
and comprehension are the two most important things. Because people, you could talk all day, but people really just don't fucking get it. Like, people really just don't get it. You're like,
why are you calling people dumb?
I didn't say anybody was dumb. I just said they don't.
Comprehension.
I'm just saying they don't get it. They don't get it.
Stop hitting that equipment.
Sorry.
Yeah. So is it, I feel like piggybacking off of all of that and being an adult is basically just facing and taking life head on. So for example, I'm really struggling. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, what my purpose is, why I'm here.
And that's so depressing.
Where am I going? It's not though.
No, I'm talking about the fact that your purpose doesn't come from your kids. Because I'm one of those people like, oh my God, I feel like my purpose is going to be fulfilled when I start having kids. But now that I know the battle ain't over yet, the struggle is not over, I'm scared. What am I going to do, y'all? I plan on living for a pretty long time. So, like, damn, like 70 more years, 60 more years. I'm bored. Like, I'm tired already.
Yeah, like finding your life's purpose. I think it comes in stages. And I don't know. But when I think about my kids, it is obviously, and I pray to God that they are alive for the rest of my life, right?
Amen.
But at some point in time, they grow up. They're going to move out the house. And they got to get the hell up out of here. I'm trying to run around naked.
Yeah.
Swinging. Ding-a-ling. I said swinging. And ding-a-ling.
Your naked kids going to be right in the basement.
Hey. Well, my kids do not like clothes. None of them.
None of them like
clothes.
None of
them. But at that point, when they are all grown and they all move out, then my purpose is no longer to raise them, right? And make sure that they're great human beings. Like, that's not my purpose. Right?
Mm.
They have to figure that out for themselves.
That's true. Because I can honestly say, like, I told you this the other day, one of the hardest things for me to realize as a kid was my parents were people before they started having children. So to reprogram in your mind that they don't belong to you, they are the reason why you got here and you're supposed to find your own way, that's a really hard realization to realize as a kid. Like, I don't know why I was thinking about it so early, but it's a really hard thing to try to come to terms with. Like, when you feel like, especially when you feel like somebody's in debt to you. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of the people, I did think that my parents owed me their life.
You look like it.
I did. Like, I thought about that for a while. That's because of my own issues. That's because of my own issues. But no, like, I was one of those people, and it was a really hard thing. But you think about it, like, 18 years is really a short amount of time in comparison to your lifespan.
Very much so.
You know what I'm in the blink of an eye. Like, I look at my little brother, he's about to be 20 years old.
But
I remember when
he
was
boring age.
Boring. But I remember when he was born. So I'm just thinking, like, technically, if my mother didn't want to have anything to do with him, the law is over with. Like, son, you're on your own.
Yeah.
And I think that's scary. And I was that 20-year-old who's looking at me like, I'd be damned if you get rid of me.
What?
Yeah, like both of my parents, what? I am yours. You are mine. We go together.
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah, I think you're... And it...
When you pour and you don't spill, that deserves an applause. Y'all, and I'm pouring with my left arm. Y'all should know the struggle.
Okay. I'm drinking water.
Okay.
It's a little brown.
Alkaline water.
Why is it brown? Yeah, but I think I don't know, purpose in life is always the phrase. But I think your purpose can change.
I think it does change all the time.
It has to. Just like your priorities have changed, just like, everything is always changing.
Do you feel like purpose is like a great idea, or do you think purpose can be as simple as like, my purpose right now is to make sure my kids get up and go to school?
Yeah. It could be that simple.
Oh.
Because you have a greater purpose, right? But if you break that down, it's kind of like goals. Like, one of my goals is to own 8 acres of land and a 7-bedroom house with 8 bathrooms and a movie theater that has, a few houses on the land and a basketball court and a bowling alley and a full recording studio and
who cutting that grass? That's all I want to know.
Why are you asking the same thing?
Who is cutting the grass?
So if that's one of my goals, right? And then I'm just thinking out loud, just throwing it out there, for example, then I break that down into smaller, achievable goals, right? Mm-hmm. So what is it going to take? Like, what do I have to do right now in order to get to that bigger goal?
You sound like your husband.
Who? Do I?
Yeah, you do.
But I've always said that about goals. But yes, he says that a lot. Yeah. Like, if I break it down like this, but he goes down today. So if I have 24 hours in a day, him the numbers.
What can I do in the first 6 hours?
Because in 20 years, I'm going to have this, but I got to break it down right now.
Here we go. What are we supposed to do today?
He done gave you 12 different equations. He done gone back to algebra, calculus.
Right, he gave you every topic, and we like, okay, this is great. What do we do right now?
So what's happening right now, this hour, this moment? But yeah, I've always done that with goals. So I've always written down goals every year, and I've always broke them down into monthly goals, and then sometimes I'll even go deeper into weekly goals, and then sometimes I'll go into daily goals because it's hard to see the end of the year.
It is. It's very hard to see long term. Like, people, hey, what you doing next weekend? What?
No, wait, that's your long term.
Yes. When I tell you there was a point I was living hour to hour, what you doing later on? I don't know. I don't want to commit to nothing because I don't know what I'm going to be doing.
Commitment issues.
I'm
full circle.
For real. And everything. And she's making me realize it.
But yeah. It's break it all down.
It's hard for me to write down the goals though, because what do you want is such a it's a vague question.
But you know what you want though.
Do I?
See, that's the same. Let me tell you. Okay. Let me break it all the way down. So yesterday, I was really having a hard time. Just started, not a new position, but just went back to work for...
She clocking in, y'all.
Right. For a house. And on top of house, we have the podcast, and then we have another project to be announced soon. Not telling y'all a secret. And then I have to be a wife, and then a mom, and a daughter, and, on top of all that, dealing with the passing of my brother. So it's a lot of stuff going on. So I was like, look, I need a few hours to just get away and figure out my life. Mm-hmm. Of course, my husband hands me a book called, I think it's called Organize Me Now, or Organize Now, something like that. And I call him because I get to the 3rd chapter, and it asks the question of, hold on, y'all, I got notes. Let me look at my paper.
And she writes in cursive too.
It's not cursive.
Oh, that's your real handwriting?
Yeah. What do you mean? All right, so I got to the point that says, why am I here? Where am I going? What's my purpose? Stuck. So I call you. Now, this was after, I'm being real honest with y'all. Remember, whatever is said on the internet stays on the internet.
Stays on the internet. Don't download me.
Right. I had been crying for like an hour, so I would cry. And like as I'm reading this book, because it goes through like, it says,
ooh, that sounds refreshing. I need to cry.
Yeah, it's like it asks you all these questions. How would you earn an income? What would your days look like? What would you do for fun? What would you do more of? What would you do less of? Where would you live? All these things. So as I'm reading these simple questions, I would cry. Then I would pep talk myself. All right, get it together. Then I'll cry some more. Then I get to those 3 questions. Why am I here? What am I?
What's your purpose?
What's my purpose? I get to those and I just start bawling. So I call you and I said, look, where am I going? Yeah. Why am I here? Where am I going? What's my purpose? So I call you. I said, look, she asking questions I don't have the answers to.
I'm gonna take this book back.
I don't have the answers to these. Like, I don't understand what she means by why am I here? And so he starts to break it down. And I just those 3 questions, I'm like today, right now, as we're recording these, I'm still struggling on those. Because I don't know.
Why are you here is a question like, why are you trying to come to organize your thoughts here? Or like, why are we up in here? Like, your gas got you here kind of thing? Like, ethanol.
But yeah, it's like, where am I going? I don't know. I don't know the answers. And he was like, well, you don't have to answer these questions right now. And he said, first you have to know what you want and what you don't want. And I said, I don't know. He said, but you do know. And I said, but do I?
Wow, we sound like twins.
Yeah, but do I? And he was like, you say it all the time.
But what do I say?
But what do I say so I can write it down? Because I need the answers.
Give me the answers.
I need the answers. I'm being tested.
I can submit myself back to the test.
Right.
Please.
But like knowing, so it took me a while. I was here for like 5 hours just by myself. Crying, snotting, drinking coffee, eating invert sugar. And
y'all, cavities.
I just went to the test. I ain't got no cavities. She said, you doing good. But yeah. So I think we all say what we want.
But those are like temporary pleasures. Like,
yeah.
Ooh.
Like,
ooh.
Ooh.
Like I say, I want to pay my car off and give it to my little brother.
But that's what you want. And again, knowing I had to come, it also so very important to know that those things are going to change. And it's okay if they change. Like, right? They're supposed to, because you grow as a person and your priorities change. So, once I get the 8 acres of land and the 7-bedroom house, then I can check that off, accomplish that. All right. Or maybe I don't replace it. I don't always have to replace it, but I think knowing that it's your life and it's okay is the grownest thing that you can do.
So let me ask you, is this conversation for yourself, what's my purpose, the grownish thing? Is it coming from you feeling as though you're not doing enough? Or is it something that you've always struggled with?
I think, I didn't always struggle with it.
Because I've never really known what I wanted. Because I know what I want to do, and I do those things. I don't ask for permission. But it's weird when somebody sits and asks you, like, hey, what do you want out of life? I'm like, life is long as hell to me. People are like, it's so short. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, looking back, like, damn.
That time went by quick.
Yeah, like, I can remember 15 years ago. I can remember it very vividly. Or I can remember a certain amount of time. But, like, don't ask me no long, fetched-ass questions about my life in 30 years. Like,
yeah, I think...
Like, miss me with the bull.
No. Over it.
Over it. Like, ask me, like couple of weeks.
What?
Just ask me what I'm doing for New Year's and I'm all right.
But I think, but that's a part of it. knowing that, like, not necessarily what you want out of life. Like, you have a long-term goal. Your goal could be, I want to be able to just pack up and travel to wherever I want without anything being an issue. Money.
That is.
Da-da-da, 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 right? That can be, excuse me, one of your things, right? And you'll get there.
So you don't believe purpose it can be filled through the work that you do every day or goals? Because I can honestly say, okay, this sounds so crazy. But it's just a question of the mind. But like, so you know how people are like, oh, you don't have any goals. Your long-term goal could just be to like travel and stuff like that. But what if I don't want to do the stuff that comes with it?
What do you mean? You don't want to book your ticket? Is that what you mean?
Hell no, I won't book my ticket. I want somebody else to do it.
There you go.
But I'm just saying, like, do you believe that purpose and goals come with the work that comes with it?
No.
Or you can have, see, that's my girl.
No.
Why?
Because, okay, I feel that one of my life's purposes...
we tired of waking up words, y'all.
Purposes. Which is also like a life goal, I guess, is to travel, study different religions, and sit and talk to elders from different cultures, right? That is, and document it all.
Okay.
I feel like that's one of my life's purpose and also a goal, right? But the purpose doesn't come with me booking a ticket.
But the purpose,
I think my purpose would be to educate others. Like, so for example, educate Christians on why Muslims are okay. Educate Jews on why
and that
Christians
basically would enable you to be able to travel to these different places.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the purpose is, I think. Look, I'm gonna write it down because I just figured it out while we talking, y'all.
Look,
what's my purpose?
APAN solves all your issues. Call us on our Anchor chat line.
1-800-CHAT.
1-800-CHAT.
She figured it out.
We're solving life problems here on APAN.
Yeah, so yeah.
Call us Dr. Philla.
Fill up my glass.
Dr. Fill up my glass.
But yeah, I think that's one of... It has nothing to do with my kids. It has nothing to do with my husband. It has to do with me. The fulfillment of me.
I mean, I understand. I'm just
now they can come along.
I mean, they can come visit. I'm just saying in a sense of like, you know how people say, well, one of my goals is to like, okay, simple as moving out. I'm not clocking in. I refuse.
Clocking into what?
Anything. No. I don't want to punch nobody's clock.
Okay. There you go.
But I am.
Yeah, but it's a goal. It's a life goal.
But once I get there, and if I had to
listen,
but once I get there, and if I had to get there doing something that I didn't want to do, what do I continue? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if the only way to achieve a lot of these goals are doing a bunch of stuff that you don't want to do, what's the point?
The point is the end goal. What do you mean?
But I'm saying, like, if I want to work so hard at somebody's job to get an apartment, I got to do something every single day that I don't want to do just to maintain one of my goals.
Not to maintain, to get it. Then you have to figure out how you're going to maintain it.
Didn't you just say selling your body was illegal? Selling your body was illegal?
What? You trying to do that?
I can sell an arm. Couple legs.
Oh. I think they were talking more about prostitution.
Oh.
Prostitution.
Oh, prostitution.
Pastacucci. I said pastacucci.
That is funny.
But yeah, like, it's like, all right, if my goal is that by the time I'm 55, I want to be doing that, right? Mm-hmm. then I'll go through that. I'll do whatever I have to do to get to that goal.
But once you get there, you ain't got to do that.
I ain't got to do that no more. It's like...
This whole life thing is a funny thing. It's
adulting, figuring it out.
Adulting is a funny process.
Being grown.
I don't know if I want to be here. I'm about to ask for a rain check.
What?
Can I come back?
Can I come back later?
Right. Can I come back later? Why does it have to be 18? It should be 25.
For what?
Adulting. When people consider you grown. Like, I mean, give me a couple of years.
I think between the ages, of 25...
Oh, and hey,
45.
kids, don't grow up. Your 20s is a hoax. They lied. They lied. I promise you, people gassed up the 20s so much. I'm just like, this is some bullshit, okay?
Yeah, I didn't really care too much for my 20s.
I've actually learned a lot about myself and like how I deal with other people. I hope I'm not stuck in all of my ways because some of them are really messed up. But
like what?
I'm just saying, I'm not saying like I'm not a killer or anything crazy, but like I'm saying in the sense of like how I deal with human interaction really does overwhelm me, and I've noticed that about myself for a really long time. But like I hope it doesn't get worse.
Like it's what? Dealing with people.
Yes, like I need my break from people every single day. Like I remember when Ian told me,
that's okay.
When Ian told me that time that he took medicine and it made him feel like he doesn't want to be around anybody, and I'm like, nigga, what type of medicine is that? First, I'm about to say I feel like that every single day. So how is that? It's a change in your like medicine is making you feel like this, and this is in my genetic makeup already.
But I think everybody's different.
I mean,
and
of
it's
course,
okay.
I'm not upset with being different. It's just certain ways that I hope. I hate the way that I'm perceived on a lot of things. I don't care, but I wish it could be different.
So how are you perceived?
Like shit. Like I always have an attitude, and I feel uncomfortable. Like don't get me wrong, I get irritated very quickly. 0 to 1,000 very quick. I understand that. I don't mind it. But I feel like I'm perceived like I'm always in a bad mood. And half the time I'm not thinking about anybody around me.
Because you have a resting
bitch face. I mean, it's preventing wrinkles all 2019. Like I'm just playing.
Yeah.
But I do.
Do I have one?
No. You look asleep.
No. All right, let's look at my resting bitch face.
She's sleeping. But no, like I've never really been friendly. So I don't mind not coming off as a friendly individual. I don't mind it. It's never really bothered me.
She's never been friendly. That's hilarious.
Why? My friends are more friendly. Like Ian is friendly. My mom's friendly. That's never been my claim to fame. I've never minded not being friendly. Like it's never bothered me. Like you're not friendly. I'll be cordial and respectful, but don't try to come over here being my friend. I'm just saying.
I can say that yes, when I go places with you, you're very standoffish.
Very. Like yeah. I don't know you. Like I think that's a weird thing to walk up to people. Hey, like unless I'm intoxicated. But like I've never been,
okay, thank you.
Right? Like, oh, you look like thank you. Like I'm not a friendly person. I've never been though. Like I've never been friendly.
Don't try to be my friend.
It's not so much that it's like I'm nice. If you speak to me, I'll speak back. If I have to ask you a question and I've never met you, I'll ask you. Like, but I'm not one of those people that's just like, hey girl, or what's up? Let's just talk. Like
I talk to people randomly.
Yeah.
Yes,
see,
I know.
Yeah, see, you're friendly. Like, I'm not, And then I don't feel like I have enough time. Because I'm the type of person, when I do meet you, I like to get in your business, too.
I do, all the time.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people who's just going to meet you and be like, hey, how are you? Oh, my God, this is so great.
True story.
I'm going to know your whole life story before I leave you.
I do. Mainly, I talk to a lot of homeless people. It's not funny. Stop laughing.
I'm not laughing. You laughing at yourself.
Because I'll be gone for like
that's
an hour.
That's because you nosy. See, that's because there's a difference. You be staring at a homeless person, then busting U-turn and stuff. Be like, hey.
So why are you here?
Right? How you get here?
What happened?
What you doing up under this bridge? Like,
let me see your tent. Stop. It's not funny. We're okay. Disclaimer, we are not laughing at homeless people. Please do not tweet us or put a message under anything that we do saying, y'all are so rude, da-da-da. Shut your sensitive asses up,
right.
okay? Laughing at my actions because, yes, I do have, I do talk to a lot of homeless people and...
Like, mind you, selfie games on point. Like, she'll come in like, hey, I met this lady today, thinking it's about something important, and she just met the homeless lady on the side of the street, taking pictures, giving them gifts for their friends. Like, okay.
Because the thing is that they are... they are... They are the underdogs. They are the black sheep of society. And no one even asked them what their name is.
Yeah.
They won't even shake their hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think we forget often that they are also human. And before they were standing out on the corner, they've lived a whole life.
Yeah.
Right? And they also have a story. So I'm not just going to give you money and say, here's $1. Like, I want to know what your name is. I want to know.
Like, why you out here asking for money?
I want to know, like, who are you? Like, you are a human just like I am. And I think that's so important. A little off topic, but, like, they're people.
Right, they're adults, too.
They're adults, too. Right. And some of them are there because they chose to adult in a different way. I ain't got to pay electricity out here. I don't have any
I've met a lot of those in LA.
Yeah, I don't have any responsibilities. I'm happy where I am because, hey, I make $5 a day and I can eat good off of that. And then I just go do my thing.
Right.
And others, a lot of war veterans, a lot of mental illness, you know, to where they felt like they couldn't function in society. A lot of addicts. Like, I've talked to a lot of homeless people. Obviously, you can tell.
I feel that.
Yeah, but you know, so important to recognize that they are also humans. They are people, and it wouldn't kill you to just ask what their name is and shake their hand and say, "Hey, like, I see you." And that's all they want. They want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, they also want to tell their story.
We all have a story to tell, according to her.
We do. We do. We all have a story because we've all lived a life. We've all lived a life. So
some of y'all ain't did shit.
Some of y'all ain't did shit. Some of y'all ain't shit. Right. And some of y'all ain't never gonna be shit. But yeah. All right. Yeah. Adulting, we're both over it.
Grownish. I'm leaving this hood. Sign me up for the others.
What other hood?
The Crips and the Bloods.
Disclaimer. She is just kidding.
I'm just joking. Don't jump me in nothing. I don't want to be affiliated with nobody. Okay?
Well, this was a long episode.
Oh, it was. I'm going back to childhood. It was funny here, though. Catch me on Sesame Street.
In the trash with Oscar the Grouch.
He fine, too.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yes, and the Cookie Monster.
You know what? I'm not going to even say anything. It's X-rated.
Because she's gross. This has been great, though. Seriously, get into your grown-ish. Take responsibility for your life. Live a little. Tell your kids that they're not grown because they pay for the electricity.
Who is paying? What child is paying for?
Stop making your kids pay all the bills.
Thomas ready to pay bills.
He ready. He goes to work.
He does.
He goes to work.
He has a planner and everything.
He got a planner and calendar. He goes to Maryland. He goes out the country and he remembers too.
He has conference calls.
He does. Stop trying to play, Thomas.
Ooh.
I'm signing him up. He's on payroll.
Pay him no goddamn mind.
That's the only thing he getting paid around.
Look, the hands.
So yeah, this was lit. Love you guys.
Ooh, this is fun. I'm over it.
Over it.
Let's do one.
That's me transferring back into childhood. All right.
Bye.